Let's start with the border crisis. In all of this, people are right now distracted considerably, and in most cases rightly so. But that border is still aflame. Border crossers by the thousands are every day moving into the United States or being released into the United States. Your thoughts?
Look, I've been saying it for a long time. We're going to keep coming, Lou, because there's no consequence. There's no deterrence. That's why I'm pushing. I'll say it again. ICE needs to get out there, do a nationwide operation, look for these family groups and single adults who've had their court date, either didn't show up and got an order removed or showed up when the order removed. 90% of them are in that bucket, a couple 100,000. Do a national operation, find them, remove them, and show Central America we're taking this seriously. I did it 3.5 years ago, and it worked. The border numbers went down significantly.
And catch and release. Everyone has talked about it from the president on down. Catch and release is still in effect, and the numbers are dispiriting, to say the least, at the number of illegal immigrants who are being released into American society.
Well, look, two things just happened that's going to help with that. You know, the Wait in Mexico program is just expanding across the southwest border. Right. Again, they've had a Ninth Circuit rule against it, but there was a stay, so DHS can still go forward it. So you need to go forward fast on this before the Ninth Circuit ends up shutting them down. The second thing is the Attorney General made a great decision that asylum seekers who passed their first credible asylum interview, if they cross the border illegally, they usually will get bond. He's saying, no, that's not the way the law reads. The IRA of 1996 doesn't read that way. If you enter this country legally and claim asylum, and even if you pass your first interview, you're going to be detained until you see a judge. That is a great ruling. That's going to help. I
have to say, I was stunned as I read his order, his ruling, overruling a immigration judge in that case, because I, for the life of me, did not realize how clear the statute was, the regulation. And he's exactly right. That means that this has been going on through 3 presidencies until this Attorney General stepped forward and shut it down.
Look, amen. Look, if you look at what's really happening, if you come to the port of entry, claim asylum, which is the legal way to do it, you weren't allowed bond. You weren't allowed bond. But if you enter the country illegally in violation of our law and claim asylum, you were allowed bond. It's a complete opposite of the way it should be. So he went back to the way the law was written.
And the incentives under 2 previous presidents, these are outright incentives for illegal immigration into this country, and it's that straightforward. Let's turn to, if we may, some of this absurd fight against ICE. The Rashida Tlaib, the radical Democratic congresswoman, threatening a hunger strike to push for the shutdown of immigration and enforcement. The radical Dems are focusing on ICE, and it infuriates them. It drives them to some sort of psychosis that, to me, is inexplicable. Your thoughts?
It's disgusting. And she's disgusting. I can't even believe how she got elected to Congress with the thoughts and her positions on this. Look, if she don't like what ICE does, then do your job as a congresswoman and change whatever laws you think you need to change. But men and women of ICE aren't making this up. They're enforcing laws that Congress enacted. And to tell, if they're supposed to love these illegal immigrants, they want open borders, and they want these people going hunger strike. Let me let her in on a little secret. And it's not a secret. Go on hunger strike. Then we'll get a court order and we'll force feed them. Just because you go on hunger strike doesn't mean you're going to be released. So she's telling illegal aliens that are in our detention, put yourself in harm's way, get sick, rather than me, a congresswoman, doing my job. I won't put it on the illegal alien. I'm going to try to embarrass ICE by having sick people in detention. That's shameful and it's disgusting. And the Democratic leadership needs to do something about it.
The Democratic leadership needs to do something about it. The president is moving to reform Department of Homeland Security. Think about this, the president ordering a shift from emphasis and priority within Department of Homeland Security from counterterrorism to illegal immigration and border security. It is the largest department. It is a mammoth creature, as you know, but you can already begin to see some of the effects of that decision on the part of the president.
President Trump is a great president. I've worked for 6 presidents. He's done more for border security than any president. He is the only one trying to address border security. His administration, the Democratic leadership hasn't offered up one option, one idea. They hate this president so much. They resist this president. It's more important than to hate this president, see him fail, than to do their job and defend this country. They hate this president more than they love the country. It's disgusting. President Trump is the only one doing anything about the border. He's a great president, and he will not fail the American people. He will not give up.
And, you know, you say that the radical Dems, the left in this country, hate the president more than they love the country. I think that is true. But let's be, I think, very clear about this. They hate the fact that they are not in power, that Hillary Clinton is not the president. They hate that. But this is all about power, no matter how they want to dress it up or obfuscate the reality. This is about power, and they know that they are now vulnerable as a result of this president prevailing against a 22-month-long witch hunt that is going to change history in this country for the better and for a very long period of time. Tom Homan, it is great to see you. Thank you for being with us, my friend.